So we're gonna be going over some topics. Um I know they just dropped Moon Knight episode 5 the other night, and I'm here to give my review, my thoughts on it. So we're just gonna jump into it. I'm ready to talk about it. I know you're ready to hear about it. So let's just get it. Let's get to these topics. And basically for Moon Knight episode 5, this episode was titled Asylum, because we know Mark and Steven in episode 4, they were they got dumped out 3 times in the chest, and basically they're in the afterlife right now. So we ended on a cliffhanger where Mark and Steven was in the asylum, and they ran into the hippo goddess lady in this afterlife place. And that's where that episode ended, and we picked right back up on episode 5 with them talking to the hippo goddess lady. Um, for me, with this episode, and mind you guys, it's going to be spoilers. So if you haven't seen the episode, go to Disney Plus and check it out. But there's going to be spoilers here, so be ready. Just be ready for it because it's coming in. It's coming in right now. So basically, for this episode, for me, it was a bit confusing. It was a little bit confusing, and I'm gonna explain why it's confusing. So basically, it looks like he's in an asylum, but he's really not. When he talks to the goddess hippo lady, she's telling Mark and Steven, like, look, you guys are in the afterlife, you're basically dead, and you need to balance your skills because they're not balanced. And that's the reason they're not balanced, is because it's 2 different personalities in this body. So they need to get these skills balanced in order to be able for to go to basically to heaven, to paradise. If they can't get the skills balanced, then they're going to go to um basically this desert hell, because the hippo goddess lady told them, I don't know, I don't remember her name, but she basically told them that if they can't get their skills balanced, that this is the place they're going to go. Now technically when they come out, um they go through a door, excuse me. They go through a door following, I believe, the hippo goddess lady. And come to find out, they're not in an asylum. They're actually on a boat in the desert. And this boat is just cruising through the desert, trying to get to its destination. And she said, when the hippo lady goddess said, when it gets to the destination, that's when your time is up. Either you're going to go to this paradise of heaven, or you're going to go to this desert of hell. And they have to get the skills balance. So basically, they end up going back inside the boat, the ship, and once they walk back inside, they're basically in the asylum again. But that's all in Mark and Steven's head. They're basically projecting this place that they're at, and basically they have to go in there and relive um, some childhood memories and things that they went through, and in order to get these skills balanced. So what's crazy here is once they start to relive those memories and going back to when Mark and Steven were a kid, we end up finding out that, and mind you guys, here's a spoiler. Spoiler alert, is coming in hot. The body belongs to Mark Spectrum, not Steven Grant. This ain't Steven Grant's body. This is Mark's body. Because we see Mark as a kid, and we see Mark's parents. We even see Mark's younger brother. He has a younger brother. And basically, Mark him and his younger brother went outside to go play. They end up going somewhere they shouldn't have gone. They went into this cave. It started raining. The cave became flooded, and the younger brother of Mark ended up dying, passed away. He drowned it in the cave. Um, and it was devastating. I mean, obviously, it's going to be devastating if anybody loses their child, loses their brother, any siblings, family members, anything like that. But it hit Mark hard. But the thing that hit him the hardest is how he got treated by his mom. His mom basically blamed him for what happened to his little brother, said it's his fault he died, and basically she just disowned him. Said started treating him like he's not even her son. It even got to the point where it got physical, and she started abusing him. But the only person who was truly comforting Mark was his dad. That was it. His mother just like, I'm done with you, bro. You done went out there and got my son killed. You got your little brother killed. What type of big brother are you? I mean, just wow. So basically, there's a part in this episode where it even shows, you see when Steven is manifested or comes to life. And this is all created by Mark. So there's a scene where Mark, as a kid, is in the room. He's in his bedroom. He runs up to his room because he gets something. His mom says something to him. I forget what happens, but basically, he runs off. She comes upstairs, banging on the door, banging on the door. Mark, open the door, open the door. Mark, open the door, open the door. And obviously, he's not opening the door for you. But he's sitting on the floor, um, and he hears his mom banging at the door. And just before she comes into the room, you see him like black out, his eyes roll into the back of his head, and then he comes back, and now he's a whole different person. He's Steven now. He's Steven Grant. He's speaking like he's from Europe. And the crazy part is, if you look on the wall, you see a poster of the character Steven Grant. So obviously, we know that if you watched episode 4, you see that they showed an episode of a show based on Steven Grant. So that was one little tease right there to say, okay, this is where Steven Grant comes from, or the personality that Mark adapted and brought in. But you see that poster, and that truly confirms it right there. But so we know the body belongs to Mark. That's his body. Steven's the made up person. And that's tough. That's really tough because I like Steven. He cool, nice dude. Not a fighter, but very nice. I like Steven. So it's just sad for Steven to have to just find out that, dang, I'm just a made up character. That's it. You're just made up. Once that revelation comes together, and Steven and Mark finally, Mark finally reveals to Steven what's really going on, how he came into existence. They believe that they had the skills balance. They're like, cool, this should do it. Let's go talk to the Hippo Lady Goddess. So they go talk to the Hippo Lady Goddess. They go back out to the boat. You see all the sand around in the desert. And the Hippo Lady Goddess said, look, the skills are still not balanced. And if they don't get balanced, there's going to be some desert people who are going to come out the desert, the hill desert, or desert hill, and they're going to try to pull you in there. And if you touch that sand, you're there for eternity. You're gone. You're there for eternity. You're going to be a desert sand person coming out of the sand on the boat trying to grab somebody, whoever ends up coming to the afterlife next. So what we start to see is these desert people coming out of the sand, climbing up on the boat, and you already know Mark, he gonna catch the fade. He catching the fade with all of them. It was multiples, but it was too many. It was too many. He ends up getting knocked down and damn near dragged off the boat. But this is my favorite part. This was my favorite part of the episode right here, guys. This was my favorite. Steven stepped up. It was incredible. He actually started putting hands on these sand desert demon monsters. I don't know what they are. I don't know if they're people who lost their soul into that desert and are stuck there, but whoever they are, he started working them. It looked like he had like a bat, but I'm thinking, where would he got a bat from? I think it was like a piece of wood he picked up, and he just started busting them in the head. And when he bust them in the head, it's like sand just came off their face. The effects were amazing. The effects were amazing. I have to give Disney and Marvel props for that. It looked really good. But as Steven's putting hands on them, he's happy. He's celebrating, like, I'm out here putting in work. But one of the little desert sand people came, tackled him over the boat. He fell into the sand. So spoiler alert, Steven Grant is dead. He gone. He fell into the desert of hell. Okay, and that to me right there, I did not see that coming. I didn't expect it. It just threw me for a curveball. It did. I mean, it could have been Mark, but Steven, like I said, nice. This is a very nice character. I think he's like a fan favorite. Everybody liked him. Maybe some people didn't. I don't know, but for me, I thought he was a great character. So to see him have to go like that was tough. That was tough, but that's good writing on Marvel's part right there. That's some real good writing. Y'all got us to like this character, and then you killed him off. Like bam, killed him off. Now remember, like I said, this episode was a bit confusing because in the times where Mark and Steven were trying to reconcile what was going on and why they couldn't balance the scale and all that stuff, there's times where they kept blacking out and then end up in the back in the asylum in the office with Arthur, who's acting like playing like he's a psychiatrist, and basically he's talking to Mark like, yeah, you know, you're telling me all this stuff, like if he's like Mark is basically telling them like, oh, I'm over here in the afterlife and I'm over here with the hippo goddess lady and all this stuff happening, like if he's just making it up. But then as Arthur keeps pressing him, it's like he blacks out again, and now he's back with Steven and the hippo lady goddess and all that. So that's where it got a bit confusing for me. So I mean, maybe there's a possibility Steven could be alive if this is all fake and not, and you know what I mean, like the I don't know. You see, I sound confused talking about it. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna move on from that. Basically, like I said, Steven got pulled over boat. He's gone. Once that happened, the scales actually balanced out, and Mark ends up in paradise, in this heavenly realm. And I believe that's where the episode ended at. So, and we didn't get no end credit scenes and stuff. I don't know what's going on with that, but it'd be nice, Marvel, to get that. I think they're gonna save it for the last episode, episode 6. Um, but yeah, that was my thoughts on it, or my review on it. Like I thought the episode was pretty good. I mean, each episode up to this point has been amazing. Um, it's not what I predicted. I thought we would see a third personality show up. That didn't happen. I thought Mark and Steven would get out of the afterlife place and come back to life and go save Khonshu and basically get back in the suit and then go fight Arthur and save the day, but it didn't happen like that. So they're still in the afterlife, and we're gonna just have to wait until episode 6 to see what happens.